I'm with the Caring Arts Foundation. Caring Arts believes in the healing power of the creative arts. We normally bring music and art programming to cancer patients through hospitals and cancer support communities throughout Chicagoland. Because we cannot go outside these days, none of us can, we've been bringing some virtual programming to you through these videos and been trying to make use of simple materials, inexpensive materials that you may have on hand at home or that you can find easily in a drugstore or a grocery store. So today we're going to make gratitude cards. Actually, you can use them for birthday cards or any other occasion too. I received this lovely card the other day from one of the communities we work with, thanking us for doing these videos, and I was so touched by it. It's just nothing nicer than a thank you that you don't expect necessarily in the mail or some other kind of greeting. And the important part is when you handwrite a personal greeting on the inside. So that's what we're going to do today. It's very simple, the project, but it can be applied in so many different ways. So I'm going to show you the basic techniques and then let you guys be creative and figure out the best way to do it for yourself. So these are the materials we need. We need a scissors, pencil, a fine point marker, a glue stick. You need a quarter. Now, if you don't have a quarter, you can also use the cap from a milk carton. It's about the same size. It works just as well. You'll need a straight edge or a ruler. And then you need some paper. For the base of the card, we need some cardstock. Any kind of cardstock will work, really. This is actually a piece of cardboard. The best thing to use is an 8.5 by 11 standard sheet of paper. I happen to have this kind of mottled paper that I like very much. And it's lightweight cardstock. You can use plain white. You can use colored paper. Typically you can find this at perhaps a drugstore. I know for sure they have it at Walmart if you look in the school supply or office supply section. If you happen to get your groceries there, don't make a special trip. But if you're going there for groceries, you can find it there. I also found in the local drugstore this kind of cool fluorescent color construction paper. Actually, it's not construction paper, it's poster board. And this works well too. It's not quite the right size. It's 8.5 by 14, but I'm going to show you an easy way to cut it down and make use of that. So any of those things work. And then in addition, you'll need a selection of colored papers. Now it can be any kind, it doesn't have to be cardstock. You can use the same colors of cardstock too if you find a variety pack of cardstock. But you can also use lighter weight paper for the second part of the project. But you'll need probably a few different colors or a selection of colors. You can also use construction paper, which you can usually find pretty easily as well. Any of those things work. So, and then I use kind of a scrap piece of paper so I can put glue on paper and not get it on my tablecloth. So that's it. We're going to get started. You can see here from all these different examples I gave you here, there's a variety of ways to do this. But I'm going to make a basic card. This one has a balloon. And these are three-dimensional cards, and they're so simple to make. But I'm going to show you how to make this balloon card. And so we're going to start with that. So the first thing you need to do is take a piece of your cardstock, whether it's white or blue or whatever color it is. I'm going to use this one here. And you fold it in half. So this is 8.5 by 11 size paper, and I'm just going to fold it in half. And that's going to make my basic card. Now you can actually make a card going this way, straight up and down. You can make a card going horizontal. It doesn't really matter. I kind of like the vertical cards, but we're going to start with that. And I'm going to put that aside for a moment. And then the next thing you need to do is, I'm going to take, I typically use some white, lightweight cardstock for this. Next part, you need to make a a stencil for yourself. And the reason we do that is so that all our pieces, our three-dimensional pieces, are exactly the same size. But you can make use of these in different ways. Now, I'm going to show you how to make the heart balloon, first of all. So we start, actually, to do that, we're going to start with our quarter. And we want to lay the quarter on the paper, just so that there's a slight bit of it just off the edge. And we're going to draw, using our pencil, draw around the edge of the quarter. So it's going to look like that. It was just off the edge of the quarter of the paper a little bit. And then the next thing we're going to do is take our straight edge, and we're going to draw from 3/4 of the way down from the top and draw straight across from there to the edge of the paper. Just like that. So we're actually going to end up with a piece when we cut that out that looks like this, kind of like a teardrop. And I'm going to cut that out, and that's going to be our stencil. Just going to cut right around. And we're going to make use of that as a stencil. So now the next thing we do is take any color paper. I happen to make a red balloon, and I'm going to do that one again. But any of your lightweight scrap paper, and you need to fold a piece in half. It could be any size. It could be small. It could be something very small. But we're going to make use of that folded edge. So I've got a folded piece of paper, and then I'm going to put my little stencil on the end of where the fold is. So this is the folded end, and I'm going to put my stencil on the end of that. And again, I'm going to take my pencil and draw around that. So I've got my stencil outline, and now I'm going to cut that out. So basically, if I open it up, I'm going to have a heart, just like that. But you see, I placed the stencil on the folded edge and cut around that, and now I have this heart. But I'm going to leave it folded. So you want to make 2 of those in order to make, oops, this balloon. So the next thing I'm going to do, I actually cut one. So I'm going to take these 2, and I'm going to take the card paper that I folded earlier. And so what you want to do is you're gonna put your 2 hearts together like this on your paper, and you're going to glue them down. Now you want to make sure that you're gluing the right side of the paper. So you're going to take it so that the folded part is going to end up in the middle of the balloon, and you put your glue on half the heart. Keep it folded, and just put your glue on that side. And then we're going to put it down on the paper. Now in this case, my balloon, like most balloons, when they're flying through the air, don't fly straight. They kind of go like this. So I'm putting my balloon at an angle. You can put it however you want. So now I have 1/2 of my heart pasted onto the paper, and the other half is just sticking straight up. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the other half. So again, I'm going to put my glue and put the other side right next to it. Kind of line up the points. And now I have the base of my balloon. Now all we need really is a string. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm just going to draw a string. Kind of a wavy line, just like that. And normally a balloon is tied at the end, so I'm going to make a little, what looks like a tie at the very end. You can even make another little end from the string. Anything goes. You can do this however you like. And then I'm going to make a couple of clouds, just like these here. And that really gives you the sense that the balloon is flying through the sky. If you have some blue cardstock, that would be really nice, because then it's really going to look like it's floating in the sky. So I'm going to take some plain white paper, actually the same stock that I used to make my stencil, and I'm just going to cut a couple clouds. They can be any shape you want. I think I'm going to make two. I'm going to make one that looks like it's floating below the balloon, so that it gives a sense that the balloon is really high in the sky. There we go. I have my two clouds. I'm just going to paste them down on the paper. You can make a sun, you can add some birds, you can really, the possibilities of this is endless, and it's so easy to do. There we go. There we go. I've got a three-dimensional heart balloon that's flying through the sky, up above the clouds. Now, as you can see from my examples here, there's so many different ways you can apply this. You can, instead of a balloon, you can make hot air balloons. And instead of using two pieces of red, I used on these one heart that was pink and one heart that was red. And I put them together, and they look very three-dimensional. Well, they actually are three-dimensional. And then I just created some little baskets and some string hanging onto the baskets from the balloon. Added some birds in the sky. You can add a sun. There's any number of ways to do this. Now I'm going to show you one other thing. I also have one here that isn't hearts. It's a flower. And there's a number of different ways you can do this. I also made some flowers out of hearts. So you could do that. And then I cut the stems and the leaves out of the extra paper. But I'm going to show you how to do the flower. Again, I'm going to take my, my plain white cardstock, and I'm going to draw half a flower. I'm going to draw that on the edge of the stock. So basically, it's very simple. It's going to end up looking like this. And I'm going to cut that out. Actually, there's one I cut out earlier. When I cut it out, it looks like this. It looks like half of a flower. And again, you're going to put that on, take a piece of paper. I'm going to take yellow this time. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'll put my little stencil on the end, on the folded end of the paper. Use my pencil to draw around it. And there, I've got half a flower. So I'm going to cut that out. And you can make these, you can make the two halves of the flower different colors. You can make them the same color. There's no right or wrong here. There's just endless ways to do this. So now I have, if I open it up, I have a complete flower. But I'm going to keep it closed, just like we did with the heart. I'm going to keep it folded. And I already made another half. And so now when I put these together on the paper, I'm going to end up with a whole flower, just like this one here. So again, you glue each half of the flower down, and you draw a stamen with your marker, and then cut out some leaves and a stem and paste it down. You can add a sun, like I did on these other ones. There's just endless possibilities. One other thing I'll show you. If you end up finding, instead of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, if you find what I found at the CVS pharmacy, I found this poster board, but it's not 8.5 by 11. It's not standard letter size. So this happens to be 8.5 by 14. So, and the cool thing about this paper is it's different colors on each side. So when you create a card, like I did with this one, and you open it up, you're going to get a different color on the inside. So I'm going to show you how a really easy way to cut that down into the 8.5 by 11 size. You take your ruler, and 8.5 is the short side, is the right size we want. It's the long side that's a problem. We want to make that 11. So I'm going to take my ruler and measure out 11. Make a line on each side. So I put a mark showing where the 11 is. And I want to have this paper be 8.5 by 11. Then I'm going to take my ruler and line it up on those marks. And so instead of trying to cut this, because it's hard to cut these perfectly, I'm just going to rip it. And you're going to get a really interesting, what they call a decal edge. It's a torn edge. And it kind of adds some elegant interest to the card. So all you do is just put your ruler down, hold it, and then just rip the edge of the card. And now you've got this interesting edge. And then fold that in half. And there you go. You've got your basic card to work with. And you can cut out your hearts and put them on here in different colors, just like I did with this one here. So with this one, I cut all these hearts and I made them into flowers. And basically, I just drew this little pot using my marker. And instead of cutting out paper to paste down for the leaves and the stem, I drew them out with the black marker. And then I drew some little, I actually cut little reflections out of the plain white paper and pasted them down. So you can see there's just so many different ways to make use of just those basic heart pieces. You can combine different colors together. I've used these for Valentine cards too. This one here, I actually used just a square sheet of paper. It was a long rectangle, and I folded it in half to make a square. And I found some doilies. And so I pasted down a doily and then pasted my basic heart on top of here. So there's just so many different ways to do this. It's just endless. So my suggestion is that you experiment. And then the really important part is what you write on the inside. Think of a beautiful, heartfelt message you want to send to somebody and write it on the inside in your own handwriting. And then you can stick them in an envelope and put them in the mail. You can find, these are A9 envelopes, which fit these cards perfectly. They're typical greeting card envelopes. And you can just put it in the envelope, and after you write your message, and pop it in the mail. Now, if you can't find these envelopes or don't have them handy at the drugstore, I found these Clasp envelopes. These are 9" by 6". I found these at the local drugstore. They come in a pack of 5 I think, and these the cards fit in these as well. So you can just pop these cards in one of these envelopes and send it to whoever you feel you need to thank, or to wish someone a happy birthday, or anything else that's special. So have fun with this. We'll bring you some more projects, and you guys stay safe, at home, and be well, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.